Hey there YouTube, this is Mathas, and I actually have another Mathas StarCraft versus the ladder for you. I did completely plan on showing you, there we go, showing you a good loss, but the problem is I played this game yesterday, well, yesterday now at the time of recording, and this is shortly after Season 3 has started, and this game is so effing hilarious with some of the things this guy says that I really needed to show you. So I don't know. I'll tell you my thoughts as going through. It's just some of the things he claimed I was doing were just kind of asinine and whatever. The guy also told me to I told him I was going to cast it, and he told me to tell you, or tell the viewers that he stopped trying after a certain point, and I'll tell you what point that is, and you can make the decision whether he stopped trying or not. Overall, it was still a good game, but it was just some of the early stuff, which is pretty funny, that I definitely needed to show you. I'm trying to give him some friendly chatter, ask him how he likes the new maps. We are, you know, on an older map here, but I still enjoy this map. It's pretty good. And I'm a little mad that they got rid of Metalopolis. I see him right there. I pull my Overlord out of there immediately so he doesn't know where I am. I want to make sure he has to scout as long as possible before anything. And I believe I go for a 14 pool in this game. I think that's the plan. He says this one's kind of siege tank imba. I don't know why he says that. It's not a new map. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, there are certain points where, yeah, siege tanks are definitely good, especially over in the third. You can drop them right outside the rocks. Wouldn't call it siege tank imba, though. So yeah, I do a gas pool build. I'm looking to get, on this map, knowing that he's as close as he is, too, I want to make sure I want to get a spawning pool up first before I worry about anything else. And I'm not sure what he's planning on, but we are short air distances, so I plan on stealing his gas. He does pull a bunch of SCVs to try and stop my drone from getting a good scout, so I just want to make sure I check out his gas timing and make sure I see what's going on. And the longer I keep his SCVs off the mining is a smaller advantage for me. I am mining gas ASAP so I can get Speedling upgrade as soon as I can, and there, I dropped down the gas. I did see he's got an orbital command dropping, so I want to make sure I delay any Banshees as long as possible. And especially, like I said, on this map where, okay, hi cat, where we're such short air distances. So he says don't let them finish. As you see, I was already over there planning on canceling it, getting ready to cancel it. There's the cancel. So that, right there, him saying don't let them finish is just a little fishy to me. So I'm gonna drop a scout, and here's something immediately that catches me off guard. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm gonna be moving out a drone, and I see a supply depot drop. And I'm going to steal his gas again. And I'll let you know in a minute exactly what tipped me off. Like, that didn't tip me off immediately. That kind of did a little something. I'm dropping a spine crawler just to be safe. He hasn't even attempted to stop it, dropping his Marines. So I do a quick scan. I'm going to kill off that SCV. That did a quick scout on me. I didn't drop my... I think he stopped me from dropping it. And here is what's going to tip me off. Immediately I see a wall in. I see 3 supply depots and no buildings outside of a single bunker. So immediately I'm like, oh crap, he's got a proxy something somewhere. And lo and behold, bam, I find his proxy. Because that's where I just assumed the proxy would be. And now he starts getting a little obnoxious. LOL, Hackz. And I start picking off his SCVs, which is good. I stop him. He drops the cancel. I don't know if I would have dropped the cancel there. They did seem pretty close to finish. He might have been able to get them dropped before anything. I just tell him no. I saw you had a ton of supply depots. Of course, I spelled depots wrong. Only 1 barracks. Kind of laughing about it, just saying maybe he wasn't being like completely serious about calling me hacker. But he's actually obviously really pissed. So you randomly scout there with like a million exclamation marks and question marks. And I said, where else would they be? I mean, honestly, they could have been anywhere. But I wanted to, like, if I just see that, I wanted to immediately scout what's near me, because I've been proxied there before, proxy gated. I've been proxy barracks before there, just by 2 racks. He was going for a massive 3 racks, and I could have done a ton of damage if I didn't scout there. But tell me what you guys would have done. Would you have done the same thing? Would you guys have scouted there if you saw 3 supply depots and only a single barracks and no units? I mean, I feel like what I did was right. I feel like I didn't, you know, I don't think there's any reason for him to think I was hacking. But what are you going to do? I thought that was great. I'm just going to start defending myself a little bit. I said, dude, that's where proxy everything goes on this map, pylons included, which is true. If you're trying to get a very early rush, you're going to proxy right next to the base, especially if you want to get by the 5-minute mark. Say you're like proxy getting me, but oh well. What are you going to do? I'm just going to kind of, you know, and then I just tell him, then I guess I was lucky. And then we move on with the game. Now the game kind of gets a little crazy, but now he tells me that was fishy as shit. He says he's going to report me. I tell him go for it because, I mean, I didn't hack, so. Sorry, I'm just reading a text right quick. I'm reading it, sorry. So, yeah, like, I don't know, I just told him I called his bluff, I didn't hack, he just wanted to make sure, and I'm like, I didn't go for it. So, at this point, I know I'm ahead because that's a lot of his money he just lost by canceling all those racks. When he could have pushed that, I mean, I probably could have defended it if I just moved my spine crawler there, but I still might have pushed it and lifted off and just took off with the barracks, but, I mean, maybe it would have been a bad idea. So I'm moving on out. I'm just kind of scouting around. I'm getting ready to start taking an expansion, early expansion at that. I do have a few banelings outside of his thing, and of course, I have a drone that's sitting there that he completely didn't even pay attention to, so I get a really good scout on everything he had, and now I know Banshees are coming. I see 2 starports with a tech lab. He swears. So I mean, he kind of fucked up. This is so to speak. He didn't place very well. He told me to tell you guys he stopped trying after the 5 racks fail, but I don't know if that's true. I think he just wants to cover his ass. But either way, he still puts up a pretty damn good fight. And like I said, I have banelings out there because I want to make sure I can shut down as many of them as possible. He's going to get those. I'm going to pull back my zerglings and just pop a bunch of banelings. He's getting ready for an expansion, I think, just by trying to clear out like that. I forgot to put guys in gas, I'm realizing now, so I'm grabbing a bunch and throwing them in gas. I am still going to go pretty baneling heavy. Again, I know that he's on the way with Banshees. I completely forgot to drop a freaking anti-air thing. I've got one going down right now. He only has one of them up. He doesn't have cloak yet, I don't believe, so I'm going to be able to do some damage here with the queen. I'm trying to delay as long as possible, pull her back, pull up a different queen. I think I'm going to lose her anyway because here come a bunch of others. Yep, there she goes. She explodes. And now this thing, he's going to gun for it. I immediately counterattack though. With Banshee play, I cancel because he almost got it right at the last second. And I do have one Spore Crawler, so I mean I could pull that Spore Crawler up if I wanted to, but doing some pretty poor micro here. But I'm about to do some Baneling busting down his wall. That's my goal. So just counterattack because I know he's putting a ton of tech into this. He's putting a ton of minerals and a ton of gas into his Banshees. And it looks like he's continuing to try. He's going to pick off a bunch of drones here. I am not pulling them back for one reason or another. I move one of them up. Here comes another Banshee in the mini-map. I see it coming. Again, this is just damage control. He's not doing, I mean, honestly, during the game, it feels a lot worse than it actually is. He's not doing as much damage as I think he is. I mean, he's doing good damage. He's definitely getting some workers dead, but not doing nearly as much damage. I just got to bust down and just take out as much as I can. I set the barracks on fire, take out some supply depots. I force him to pull out with that, actually, because he thinks there's more coming. With that, I'm able to build up a few more defenses. I can drone up a bit. I'm building, 7 more drones and a few more Zerglings just so I can make sure I can continue the harass. I should have probably run in there with Zerglings. I actually forget about the Zerglings up top that was clearing out those rocks for the expansion, but what are you going to do? My money's looking really good. I'm just going to run on in here and just bust down whatever I can. And I think I killed both SCVs. I'm just going to keep doing damage at this point for a little while. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like I said, he's put a lot of money and a lot of tech into getting late Banshee harass. And in doing that, he's kind of screwed himself. And now, if I continually Bane bust down his wall, he's going to have to keep spending money to rebuild the wall. He's going to have to repair it, which is more money, and he's going to have to keep rebuilding all the Marines that he's been rebuilding as well, which is just, he's basically going to be forced to spend all of his tech and all of his money into continually rebuilding the wall and continually defending. I'm only sticking on 2 gas here. I don't feel the need for any more. Again, it's just Banelings, and they're not that much. They're not that expensive. So, again, this is pretty much where I am. I figure I go to layer tech. I don't remember. I think I go Mutalisks, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Mutalisks. There's a bunch of them, so I'm like, screw it. There's just a bunch of them, so I am just going to bust down the wall again and go straight for the mineral line if I can get to it and say, screw it, I won't get to it in time. But I'm feeling safe now. I've got you know, I've got a bunch of spore crawlers up. I've got 3 in my natural. I think I've got 2 and a queen in my main. So I feel pretty safe. And I'm just going to continually just throw down banelings and just spread the creep pretty aggressively. I mean, I only have 1 creep tuner just because I don't want to have my queen venture out too far. And I don't want to throw down 150 minerals for an extra queen right now, as I'm doing a pretty aggressive build style right now, as I have yet to take my queen. And here comes a million banshees. And he's going to, I mean, I'm looking pretty good here now that I've got 2. He loses 1 there. He's going to pick 1 off, but still not too bad. He's going to have to pretty much just back off and take out the stuff in the outskirts. I send my banelings out. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to move my queen out. Now, I do something pretty silly here. You'll see in a minute. Again, it was just kind of a panic mode, because this looks a lot more dangerous than it actually is, which is kind of funny. Now, you see me dropping that spire down, right? Alright, so I'm going for a spire. I'm going to cancel it, because he's going to go right for it, which I'm not stupid. I don't get that canceled. And now I've got the banelings going in. I'm going to try and take out everything I can. There goes the barracks, and I just hit a tank. So he's getting tanks up. Not a surprise. Now, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm dropping a spire in my main. If you just saw me, I just decided to drop the spire in my main, which is smart. Now, see the banshees go up, which, okay, I figure he's going to discover. He's going to discover my 3rd. I decided I need, by the way, I just need gas now. So I cancel my 3rd. Yep, and there it goes. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'll do something cool. I will trick him. Oh, wait. Oh, there's no creep. I try to build a spire. I try to build a hidden spire, completely forgetting that I have a spire already. And there goes, I'm trying to build a hidden spire, and there it goes. When you build a hatchery, it leaves some creep behind, and I completely forget I have another spire going. It's not a big deal, you'll see why, but it's still kind of silly of me. I should have just left the 3rd, because I realized he never searches that 3rd. He kind of pulled his banshees up there, but never scouts for a 3rd, which is kind of silly of him. I'm sending one of my overlords up there to support it with creep, but still silly of me. Watch, you know, I kind of smack myself in the forehead and kind of, you know, like one of those dope moments, because I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I'm building a spire already. Looks like I'm canceling this one, and I pop that down and bring the drone back and throw down, I think, a spine crawler. So here it comes again with some more. At this point, now he starts dropping his siege tanks. Now I don't know how many he has. I just see them attacking. I want to grab my Zerglings first, which are not hotkeyed. And here they come. I'm going to swarm in here and just go straight for these things. And I do get both siege tanks. He only has 2, which is not good. He doesn't, you know, losing those that early is not good. My queen is, I'm going to lose that now. I'm going to lose my Evo chamber, which I'm not upgrading anything. No biggie. But I do have Mutalisks on the way, which will essentially just send him back. He's going to be picking off my spire, but I do have one of them up, and now I'm going to have to rebuild that spire. Now I'm like, oh, if I only had continued building that spire, I'd be alright. But what are you going to do? I'm going to pick off the medevac, because I don't know what's in there. I don't know if anything's in there at all, and I'm just going to pick it off just to make sure. And a free medevac's a free medevac. And now I'm going to continually start to pump out Mutalisks and start the Mutalisk harass, because the banshees that he's now has are essentially useless against my Mutalisks, which is good. He does have some Vikings in the way if you take a look at the production tab, but not enough this early in. I'm going to pick off the... I attempt to pick off this expansion, but I decided to screw the expansion because right now he's not going to worry about it. Take off of these Marines because there's not too many. As his army count is going to be pretty low at this point in my mind. So he does have an armory on the way. Now I didn't realize it at the time. Just kind of moving around. Got the Vikings killing off everything that can kill off my my Mutalisks. Really focusing down those starports because that's pretty much where the bulk of his army has come from. And I decided that he's still going to go for it. As I see, Vikings are kind of on the way. I'm just going to move in with the Zerglings. I'm just going to attempt to rush in. I know I don't have any Baneling, so I can't Baneling bust down that wall, but I am going to... Now, there I do it again, by the way. I have 2 spires on the way. This is such a bad game for me. I have 2 spires on the way, one's finishing up, and I don't even know where it is, but I'm just letting it go at this point. I'm just realizing now, actually. Oh well. What are you going to do? I remember hearing that. I do remember playing this game and going, wow, that was really quick. Why did that happen so quickly? But now I feel like, okay, I've officially won this game. He's not going to be able to do much. I'm going to start picking off his Banshees. He is going to start picking off a bunch of my Zerglings, but he's not going to get them all, as Banshees against a massive Zerglings can't do too much. And now I can just start focusing him down. Thor's out. I do see a Thor. I wish I had seen that. I wish I had seen that in 2 Spires. Oh well. That was such poor play by me. What are you gonna do? I'm looking at it, I'm just like smacking myself in the head now, kind of going, yeah. See, there's Spire, and I don't realize it at all. I don't know if I ever realized it, actually. But, oh well. And all this, like, makes sense for me, apparently, so. What a waste of minerals and gas. God. Oh well. This game is not one to show off my elite gaming skills, it's just meant to show off this guy and how hilarious it was in the beginning. And now I'm picking off his SCV, so the wall-in has completed, but the only one of them is going to go up. I decided to focus this one down, move in, and just go straight for the Thor. And it does have a lot of SCVs around, so I'm just going to start picking them off. As you can see, they are going down. I have a bunch more Zerglings on the way. I do plan to go full aggression here. I still haven't grabbed my third. I've really decided to go 2 base, pretty much all in 2 base. Just pushing heavy aggression. I do decide to grab my third, I think, at a later date. I think later on. This game is a relatively long game for the kind of insanity that ensues. But at that point, I think I decide my drone count is extremely low. It's only 20 versus 23. So you can see we're both not doing too good here. I need to pull out my Mutalisks. I don't want to lose them this early. And he is rewalling up. At this point, I know I just kind of feel like, alright, I told you, I feel like I have the game won, but what are you going to do? Picking off a free SCV there. Any SCV pickoffs at this point are good because of the point we're in. He is trying to pull me towards the missile turrets, and he is doing a mass repair, but that's fine. I'd rather him focus on my Mutalisks while my Zerglings kind of pick this off, and then I can run in with all my Zerglings and go straight for the Thor again. And there's another Thor popping out, so I decided to move in here and try to distract her, do as much damage to the barracks as possible so it eventually burns down. I don't know if it does. I more or less sack them, but what are you going to do? More Zerglings, more Mutalisks. We're both hurting from minerals, but as you can see, I'm still doing a little bit better than him. And my creep is getting really far with that 1 creep tumor spread. And yeah, I just continue to push. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say at this point right now. Is just I continue to push. Not much is going on through my head other than that if I just keep pushing, I will eventually kill him. I'll just do it swarm style. Check to make sure he hasn't grabbed at the gold real quick and just continually push on in. Now this is the point where, okay, I move in. Oh, okay. I'm just going to start doing this. He's got 3 Thors at this point. Pull back just for a little bit, and you're going to see what's going to happen in a minute is actually, I think, in my favor that he decides to do what he decides to do. My worker count is so low. 20 to 19. I mean, it's still low for both of us, but it's just no good. I just popped a bunch, so I went up to 34, which I mean is good. Now I'm attacking, and I realize, oh, he's not retaliating. He's not trying to stop me. Why? And you'll see momentarily if you see on the mini-map, actually, because I have some Overlord in there, that he's not doing anything outside of, I don't know what he's doing. So now I'm like, alright, grab my Zerglings, let's just pull this guys in and start swinging up here. Oh, hey, he's Thor dropping and basically essentially going for a base trade. So I immediately evacuate all my drones because I can't lose any more drones at this point. I make a bunch of Zerglings that are going to be rallied down here, and I decide to make a huge wall of spine crawlers because I feel like he's the kind of guy who's going to be extremely distracted with taking me out. So I do move a bunch of my drones out there. I'm getting ready to drop a hatchery just in case this base trade does not go in my favor. I feel like if I could take out everything in his base, I have the speed and mobility to hunt down any extra bases he may have with these units. To not worry about it. So I'm immediately going for all this. I'm going to keep my Zerglings here. I am going to try and delay this base trade as long as I can. And I'm dropping a few more spine crawlers just to make a very solid wall. And he is going to start attacking from the top. I do have a Mutalisk I'm going to grab and come back here with, and just so I can start taking out everything. And I'm going to drop a hatchery right there. make sure that drone doesn't get in the way. Now I'm going to start picking everything off, make sure his supply goes really, really low. After I set it on fire, just let it explode itself. I'm going to have my Mutalisks focus down the command center as my Zerglings finish up the rest of the base, because I don't want him expanding. I know he actually, you'll see, if you were watching the minimap, there was a point where I did see a command center floating through my creep, so he's already moved off and grabbed the hidden expansion at this point. But if you could take a look at his food, obviously it doesn't really matter all that much. And now I'm going to grab, I do see a little blue thing. I want to make sure I get every single building, so he makes sure he doesn't have anything else. And now he's going to start hitting my wall of spine crawlers. You're going to see this is actually going to work out pretty well for me. The spine crawler wall defends me pretty well. I'm going to finish that off. And then I realize when it doesn't say that he still hasn't rebuilt his base, I need to start hunting for his hidden expansion. And I didn't watch it, but when when I did watch the replay the first time, when he hit that spine crawler wall, it actually did eventually kill off all of his Thors, and then those Zerglings I left behind did finish him off too. And now I find his hidden expansion, and it's pretty much game at this point, and he does leave the game. So if we take a look at everyone cam, this is all he has. So yeah, that's going to be that, guys. I do have a Mathas versus, this is going to be the Mathas versus ladder for this week. I plan on getting a set schedule up where I'm going to get one Mathas versus the ladder up every week. That is the plan. I need to figure out when I'm going to have time to do all this, but it'll probably be my days off from work when I just, my couple days off from work where I just pound out a bunch of casts. So I will see you guys next cast. I do have the next Indie Corner coming up, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.